Hey there, everybody. I hope you're having a good day. I have been having a good day in my little corner of the world. Can't complain. Getting many things ready because many big changes are coming soon, so I gotta prepare for that. A little overwhelmed in that aspect, but it is what it is, and I'm gonna plow through and keep on keeping, right? It seems like this year has been just so up and down for many individuals. I feel like the amount of stress and the amount of fear, at least in this country, in the US, is similar to how people felt in 2020, even though there were very different circumstances. There was a lot of stress, a lot of fear and uncertainty about what was going to happen. And I feel like that fear, well, it's reminiscent of COVID era time. Everybody was just so afraid because there was this disease going around, this virus going around, and there was just so much misinformation and, the vaccine controversy and just so much different information that people were receiving, and some people felt like they had to acquiesce. Many people felt like they had to acquiesce and do things that they didn't necessarily believe were ethical or whatever. A lot of countries experienced a form of authoritarian governance. It felt very restrictive. And so that's why I'm saying that this year has been reminiscent to that in a different way, of course, right? But a lot of people, at least in this country, are afraid of what's going to happen and what the future will look like. I'm sure those that came before us during the Great Depression, World War I, World War II, all of these scares, worldwide scares like the Cold War, nuclear war, every generation has had to experience some kind of fear that is not just individual but also collective. And at least for right now, I don't think, well, I can't say because I don't live in other countries and I don't move around in their economies, so I don't know, but at least in this country, it feels like everything is becoming so authoritarian, and I hate to overuse that word, and I don't want to because then it's going to lose its true meaning, but it really does feel restrictive. It feels like we're moving into a more restrictive society. And when you feel restricted on the outside, it's easy to feel restricted on the inside. Because I think the greatest love that can ever exist is freedom. Freedom in every sense of the term. Being free to be yourself, being free to express yourself how you'd like, as long as it's not harming somebody else or inflicting any kind of suffering on someone else. Having the freedom to express yourself, be who you are, feeling like you are able to, your heart is able to dance, basically. Feeling free to love who you want to love, you know? And when the outside world starts to restrict our lives, you know, so to put this into an analogy, I see the world, this life, so Megan is the character. Each body, each human being is a character, is a sim. And we're in this reality. We can call it a game. This is the game, and every single character, 8 billion of us, have to learn how to navigate this game. However, there are programmings that this game already contains, and this programming is ingrained into us from a very young age, and it depends where your starting point is, i.e., if you're born in a Western country, or you're born in the East, or you're born somewhere in a tropical island, or in the desert, or somewhere, you're going to have a very different kind of programming. But each society that we Homo sapiens have created has its own programming. But there is one big programming that some people in the past have been successful to imbue in almost every society. So anyway, we have to find the illusion behind that programming, and when we find the illusion behind that programming, we feel freedom, because we're no longer prisoners of that illusion, you know. We have broken out of those shackles of illusion of who we really are, and the fact that we're here to express ourselves. Anyway, as a bit of a tangent, but not really, because there is this programming that becomes very, how do we put it, like, very strong, for lack of a better term, very powerful, and it makes us feel restricted. But remember, or at least I try to remember, that even if the outside world is chaotic and there are things happening that I don't understand and can't control, my spirit remains unshackled and undisturbed. My internal self recognizes this game, and that we're playing in this game, and there is programming that makes it a little harder to navigate this game sometimes, but as long as we trust that truth will always prevail and that love will always prevail, everything's going to be okay. That doesn't mean that you're going to become complacent. We're going to become complacent about what's going on and not speak out or do what we can to stop injustice. But we also have to have faith that our efforts will lead to a better tomorrow. And even though the world seems like it's falling apart right now, as long as we all contribute with our own efforts, the world will be a better place little by little. And the kids of tomorrow will be able to live in a better world than we're living in right now. You know, we're living a better life, a more comfortable life than those that were around during the Great Depression, or even World War II, World War I. We're living a way more comfortable life, at least in the West. But in my master's program, I got my degree in international relations, many countries have been able, because of globalization, and there's like, it's a double-edged sword, right? Globalization has its benefits, but it also has its cons. But anyway, the way of life for many people has improved around the world. So many of us are living a better life than those of the people that lived 100 years ago, right? And I have faith that in 100 years, the kids of tomorrow will live a way more comfortable life, a way better life than we are. Maybe not what I mean by comfortable if AI doesn't kill us all. And there are all these fears, but who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? Nobody can really know. We can make predictions, and maybe those predictions will come true, but no one knows for sure, right? Anyway, by comfortable, I don't mean materialistically speaking comfortable. I mean being able to get along better with other human beings. Maybe we'll understand that someday. Who knows? Maybe this turmoil that we're going through as a human species is allowing us to learn how to become open-minded and see the humanity in another human being, and at least try to get along by opening up dialogue. So that's my only hope for this world. Anyway, that was my little video journal of the day. I wish you a good day and stay open-minded. Peace and love. Bye.